And I'll tell you why. Because I'm sentimental.
Pretty wild news. Sony is now going to be in charge of distributing Blu-rays, DVDs, and 4Ks for Disney. Sony are one of our new favorite, not new, I guess I don't want to say new, but they've actually been putting out a lot of releases lately that we've just been really impressed by. And the steelbook packages have been great. The titles have been great. So I feel like it's I'm happy that this is the partnership. First off, like if I'm going to say like maybe a positive about this whole situation, positive is it's Sony that's going to handle it, which is kind of cool.
That's great.
I think a positive, Disney could have handed it to anyone and they'd care more than Disney does.
True, yeah.
So I looked at it as positive. And as you said as well, I feel like for a major corporation, Sony actually does put care. Like, would you rather want Paramount Presents? Yeah, you want Paramount doing this? I'd rather have Sony.
Yeah, definitely. Because, again, just the titles they're picking, and I don't know what kind of rights they've got to pick what, but...
Carte blanche.
Maybe, but I don't know if Disney...
Kate Blanchett.
Maybe Disney has to tell them. I don't know. But essentially, just that they're the company. I think that's awesome. There's like we've talked so many times about their steelbooks and different things that they're putting out. But in general, I feel like Disney's been, a little unhinged lately anyway with a lot of their choices.
An agent of Zurg if I ever saw one.
They dropped physical media in certain regions, Australia included. They released that baffling box set, dumping basically their entire catalog. Did anyone out there get that, by the way? Is anyone in this community a fan of that box set? Did you pick that up for $1,500? Is it still at $1,500? Has it been discounted yet?
Yeah, sadly, it's Disney. I'm sure there are people out there who picked it up.
They put out...
But clearly that was like let's just dump it all out before we get rid of it and give it to Sony.
Yeah, definitely. And then another weird thing that I remember seeing was that their Disney Plus exclusive shows like Mandalorian, they started putting those out in physical media in steelbooks, which was kind of like confusing. They did it with like Loki and a few other ones.
We're not going to leave you behind.
And it also looks like, based on this deal, it's going to be a little while before we start to get anything. So it's probably going to be, I don't know what they'll start to tease, and maybe we'll get some insight into what titles they're going to put out. But the first one that's being managed by Sony on physical media is going to be The First Omen.
And naturally, being part Irish, it's one of my favorites, of course.
That's weird.
Yeah. What are the people out there saying, Lindsay? Any comments on this so far with this merger? Well, not merger, but Disney selling their physical media off to Sony?
You know what I want them to do, and I think would be hilarious? Since now it's all under one umbrella, they should put out like an MCU collection, but throw in all that bullshit like Morbius and stuff in there. All the bad ones? Yeah. No, but the ones that were Sony.
Oh, yeah,
you see what I mean? Like do a fucking...
Blend them together.
Yeah, just do an MCU one, but have, Morbius. That Madame Web.
Yeah, the terrible new Madame Web.
Just to piss off all the fans.
You think that's funny?
Lindsay, what do we got out there?
So Google's Trello Day said that they're cautiously optimistic about the Sony thing.
Cautiously optimistic. Me too.
Doug Dundy's had a good point. He said that Sony's trying to move 4K players, so it makes total sense.
Hey.
And then Lee Brown said, I'm pretty sure Sony will have zero access to their back catalog and Disney will still be calling the shots.
Yeah.
But see, that's what... Wait, what's the downside, though? Like, from what I'm hearing, this is pretty much what the deal is that Sony's going to have access to their back catalog. But how I read this is Disney saying, okay, we know there's a market for this, but we don't want to fucking deal with it.
Oh, what a shame.
That's what I'm looking at it as. Like, what's the potential downside? Because it's not like Disney was going to do anything with this stuff to begin with.
Yeah.
They are shit when it comes to physical media. Literally, as you pointed out, pulling out of multiple territories, an entire fucking continent they pulled out on. Mm-hmm. So what is the potential downside?
Mickey Unwrapped from Walt Disney Records. It's a whole new jammin' slammin' sound. With special appearances by Tag Team, Color Me Bad, and Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess in terms of the idea that Sony would have their pick of anything, like Disney's obviously going to still... I don't know if there's an argument that can...
What else would the news be? Like who? Like, of course.
I don't know.
That's what I'm hearing is that they have access to the back catalog. So you could probably get a cool steelbook of, like you said, they own Fox, Die Hard or something. That's what I'm looking at it.
Cool Runnings.
Baby,
But I'm saying even if it's like big, obvious, Star Wars type titles, like I said, Disney was just sitting on this shit anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not like we were getting anything in the first place.
True.
That's Dud Dundies had also said that they said that Disney had been having bare bones releases for several years.
Yeah,
so that's
true.
good news.
And let's not kid ourselves. Disney's always been assholes when it comes to physical media. All its stupid vault practices in the VHS days. Their stupid little Blu-ray club where you could only pick up certain titles if you're an exclusive member. I mean, they always sucked with this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm happy. Like I said, to me, this is incredibly, I'm optimistic about the future. I was expecting after that Australia thing to just keep hearing more news about Disney pulling out here, Disney pulling out there, and then eventually North America. But this tells me that they recognize there's a market, and here, let Sony handle the dirty work, and we'll just collect a check for it.
Will we get better transfers?
And Sony's pretty good with that, I feel like, on stuff.
Yeah.
Again, I know they're not, Arrow or something like that, but I mean, I've been pleased with The Last Dragon.
Yeah.
I've been pleased with
The Raid the Redemption.
Yes, like
Real genius.
And even look at the titles they're picking. It seems like whoever's
Rudy.
in charge over there, they're picking actual beloved films. They're not just going for like the heavy hitters.
Nope.
So to them to have access to Disney, which essentially means you have access to damn near everything, and someone over there has some sense about the titles they're choosing, it's fucking great news.
That calls for a drink.
No, I'm with you. Anybody out there a member of the Disney Movie Club? Because that is also shutting down. Oh, boy. How'd you like my Mickey Mouse? Oh,
good.
boy.
Jesus Christ, that is good.
No, not bad. All right. Gosh.
Now
I'm going to start flexing and do my Goofy next.
No. Next step, we got to get Carlito and Mickey Mouse to do a fucking live stream.
All I know how to say is "oh boy" and by Mickey.
Just do that.
Oh boy.
We'll have Carlito talk to you the whole time. We'll play Cameron.
Your mom's to say.
I had no idea what the Disney Movie Club was. I'm going to be totally honest, but this was
because it pissed me off.
Well, this was bundled with this news, and here actually,
you didn't know about this. You're not a big Honey I Shrunk the Kids fan, because that was one of the titles back when it came out. You either had to resort to eBay or be a member of this fucking club.
Yeah.
Picture like Columbia House or something.
Yeah, right. Here's the article right here, The Verge. It's about to get even harder to buy some of Disney's weirdest movies on Blu-ray. So, like you said, it was some sort of movie club, was like a physical media subscription service, like Columbia House, I guess. But I think the thing that people are upset by is that you had access to very hard to get titles or rare titles that now you can you could buy them, but now you'll that's all shut off. And now it's kind of like, will Sony do the right thing?
Always do the right thing.
That's it?
That's it.
I'm not going to say the title because it was a really stupid one that I had to resort to eBay to get. But there's a lot. Like I said, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
Which to me, I think has wide appeal, has an audience out there. Hell, it was originally a Stuart Gordon film. You got the cult people who are in the Reanimator and shit like that who would support it. Plus nostalgia. Dude, last time I was at Disney World like 10 years ago, and there's still a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids whole thing you walk through and all that. So, I mean, that's a title that you could only get through this club. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Have I ever let you down? Huh? Have I? Have I?
But yeah, it was stupid. Like I said, Disney always had shit practices with this. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Well, this apparently is really upsetting some folks out there. And I think I read that like during when Disney Plus launched, that's when this thing like took the biggest hit, like back in 2019, as far as like the program's concerned. Yeah, it's like now we're going to just transfer over to that. This also, for all you Canadians out there, it closed for you, I think, last year.
Now, the Canadian government has apologized for Bryan Adams on several occasions.
I know, Mark.
I was about to say, don't you remember that backlash? I couldn't go anywhere last year without all the Canadians yelling at me about this.
Were there any subscribers out there? Has anyone said that they've subscribed to the movie club? Lindsay, the producer.
So far, just one person.
One person. Are you sad that it's gone?
It doesn't appear that Nubs is sad.
I'm not sad at all.
They signed up to get some of the classic that they grew up on that were exclusive, but a lot of titles have already sold out.
Yeah,
sadly.
gotcha. I don't know. I think you can look at it in another good way too. It's like now that this, I think we'll talk about this in our State of Physical Media address, Russ, but physical media did take a hit in 2023. And I think now that the more and more it becomes more of a niche community for all of us, that maybe we'll still get some of those more niche titles out of Disney, and maybe that'll still be something that we're able to still get through this partnership. I don't know.
That's what I mean. It's like, I hear you, but I don't understand where all this still is coming from. I mean, Disney wasn't putting this out to begin with.
No back talk. I have a laser, and I will use it.
If you're looking for maybe traditional Disney, like the cartoons and the Mickey Mouse and all that stuff, you're right. Maybe that'll be harder, and they'll still do that vault kind of stuff because they don't want Sony to have that name on it.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at it more of what Disney has acquired, which is everything. You know what I mean? Like you said, 20th Century Fox, that right there. I'm just like, great, give that to Sony. You know? Not really because I'm looking for Dumbo or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got
so
you.
maybe to fans like that who are literal Disney heads, I could see maybe that's their concern.
Yeah.
But to me, I still look at it. Hey, you weren't going to really get it anyway, unless you bought that stupid box.
You really are not that guy.
Now Australia can possibly get Disney stuff.
You hear that, Australia?
I'm being honest, because Disney pulled out, but Sony didn't pull out. So now Sony has access to to me, it's the same exact thing that happened with Best Buy and Walmart.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, all right, Best Buy's not doing it anymore, but it just went here. It didn't disappear. It just went to a different location.